YouTube? We are on our way out to Metro Bowl for the season-ending league championship. It is a 16-bowler bracket tournament with two out of three rounds, leading into a top four step ladder. As if it wasn't hard enough, because we are bowling on red square, the hardest pattern ever, a flat ratio 1-to-1, same oil all across the entire lane, out to about 40 feet, which is gonna suck. Nice thing is this tournament is basically free. Thanks to how I finished in the tournament series, I made a little bit of money. That money is basically going right back into the entry fee for this tournament, so I'm free rolling today. Hopefully that'll let me keep my mental space a little bit, level, because, whatever. But because it's the best 2 out of 3 bracket system, I could be out after 2 games. It might be a very short video, folks. So we won round one, not for lack of trying to lose it. First game, 180, 150, won it handily, started off with some good strikes, had a line. Second game, I sort of lost control of it. Got in my head, didn't quite feel good about it, kept tugging it. Halfway through, I was down by a lot, so I went ahead and just started grabbing other equipment to try it out and see if I could find another line. I didn't. Went back to the altar and started moved a little bit to the right and started throwing it even straighter up and shot 154, but my opponent shot 148.46, so I won. I'm into round 2. Red square is hard. That's what it comes down to. I have more thoughts on it. I'll talk about it in the recap, but for right now, in the moment, I'm just happy to be through, relieved to be through, and everything from this point forward is free money. So I'm going to film this one without a script. I want it to be fairly raw. So it's going to be a little bit rougher than usual, a little bit less worked on. I'm just going to talk straight through it and work out what happened on this day that I just, edited together. The fact of the matter is Red Square is super hard. It's intended to be basically a masochistic bowling experience. And it certainly served that up. Scores for everyone in the 150s to the 180s, and it was super rough. But I was in a place where I feel like I wasn't defeated by the pattern. I was really inconsistent myself with my approach and release. I would have a really good look. Like I start off the day with a couple really good strikes, and every once in a while I would roll off one that felt great and would just crush the pocket. But then the rest of the day I was grabbing or rushing or dumping, and I just couldn't get myself in a good middle place where I was able to repeat anything. And on a pattern like that, you can't do that. You do that, you're going to leave spares that aren't makeable. There were moments in the match I lost, especially where I had a real good shot at actually coming ahead. My opponent only bowled in the 150s both games, and I wasn't that far behind either one. In game one, I had some really good looks. We just moved pairs, and on the new pair, some of the more higher red bowlers are bowling there.
But I actually had a little bit of a spot. I actually could throw it to a spot and expect the ball to come back rather than having to point it, which I was doing in the first match. And so I was feeling really confident, and I was ahead, and then I just completely lost the feel of it and got disconnected with my bowling. So that's just sort of where the feelings were over the course of the latter half of the day. Feeling like I was on the cusp of actually doing very, very well with it, relatively speaking, doing well for red square. But then just having it just out of grasp. Kept tugging it, kept just chucking it. Analyzing it after the fact, there's a few things I can point to. One, my finger's still injured. I still have a lot of pain in my right ring finger on my knuckles. It still hurts to bowl, and that probably was making me grab things a little bit. And okay, that happens. Two, obviously in red square, you miss right at all, you're going to go in the gutter, or you're going to hit the 10 pin. And so I know subconsciously I was probably like, okay, we're going to miss left. And occasionally I would just get too fast and just dump it off to the right. When I kept my speed consistent and kept my swing good, I threw a good ball. That was very, very rare during the course of the day. So I still have some things I can work towards going forward. Getting more repeatable. My slide was terrible. My footwork was all over the place. And so I just need to get back and get some practicing in on that. Probably time for me to go ahead and get another session in with Will to talk about getting my arm swing consistent. It's been on my radar for a very long time, and I think I'm pretty good, but I want to basically sit down with some tape with him and see where I went wrong. There is something that I saw in a comment on one of Darren Tang's videos, I believe it was. It was talking about the difference between the pros and either the amateurs or just relatively new pros, where the experienced pros, every single shot is exactly the same in terms of approach and release. They post every shot. They finish in a solid finishing position every single time. The less consistent bowlers, the amateur bowlers, people like me, they would fall off or they would end up off balance. It wouldn't be the same every single shot. Watch this video back, you're going to see a lot of different finishing positions for me. That's really it for this one. Thank you for watching what was a very, very hard day. I know it's not the most enjoyable watching someone suck, but I know some of you are definitely in the journey in terms of watching and seeing how things change and how people improve. This was a very down day. I don't handle it in the moment very well mentally, but afterwards I've been able to sort of think about it and process it and work on it. And hopefully the takeaway is that I've identified a lot of flaws, and they're all things I can work on and get better going forward. So hopefully you can take something away for your own game in that regard, things that you need to work on, and hopefully we'll see you again in the future. So good luck and good bowling.